Hey everybody, welcome to today's video. Today's video I'm going to replace this alternator in my 2006 F150 with a 5.4 liter. Now my alternator in my truck is still fine, however I picked this one up at the wrecker a few years ago and it was brand new looking when I got it, but just by sitting on my shelf it looks like it's aged like 100 years, so I really just want to see if this still works or not. So the alternator on your F-Series truck is right down there, not a big deal. We need to remove the air intake, gonna disconnect the negative battery terminal, and the air intake on this model is held in by one bolt right there, and then it'll all pull off. To remove the battery terminal, it is an 8mm. Loosen up, pull the negative cable off, and then put it aside somewhere. Just pulls right out. Now to remove the serpentine belt, I got a little trick for you. Once you loosen off the tensioner, grab yourself a bungee cord so that you can wrap it around the belt and tighten it so you don't lose its routing. There's a quick shot of the bungee cord holding the belt in place. Now at the bottom of the alternator, trying to get in there, you can see two screws. You don't need to remove those. You only need to loosen them because the alternator is just going to pull right out. This is purely debatable, but I'm just going to take all four of those bolts off for that cover. Just that one, that one, that one, that one. So the bracket is loose, the alternator is loose. Hopefully we can fish this out now. I'm just going to tilt it forward. I need to pull off the battery wire. Come on. Okay. I think I'm also going to pull this radiator hose bracket off. So that's a 13mm. This is off the way now. Now the electrical clip you want to be careful with. I sprayed it down with WD-40 and then I took one screwdriver to push the tab down, another one to go behind to pry it up and then off. Once all the electric connections are off and out of the way, the alternator, I just wiggled her out. So I got the alternators out, side by side, same pulley. The only thing I gotta do is transfer this piece over. I can carefully pop that off. This one I'm going to test is a genuine Motorcraft, where this is looks like probably aftermarket jobber. Now to install it, how I did it was I put the alternator in place, and once it was resting on the bottom bolts, I tilted it forward because you need to get your electrical connections put on while it's tilted forward. The battery cable can only go one way, as you can see how it sits. And then push it back in place. And the very top outside holes are slotted, so I did the two bottom ones first, the two inside on the alternator, and then the two outside. Now at this stage you should have everything back together, battery terminal reconnected, and gonna be on our way to testing now. What you're gonna need is a multimeter. So the battery voltage right now is 11.99 volts. And when I start it up, it should be anywhere between 13 to roughly 14.5 volts. Oh, it looks like it's charging. So there you have it. That's how you do the alternator It's probably the same between 2004 to 2008 are basically any engine with the 5.4 liter. The upper radiator hose is kind of in the way, so I guess if you really wanted to, you could drain some coolant out of the rad, pop that hose out, and you can leave all the brackets and everything would just come out easy peasy. Now I'm going to go into video more in depth later on how to test, make sure that your alternator is indeed working, troubleshooting some issues besides for the obvious battery light in the dash or your voltage gauge reading under 12 volts. However, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, post them below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.